Hello, Marks. Buckle up. It's going to be a two-part episode. This is part one. It's Lyssie and Dylan here. Well, just Dylan, because you're not going to hear Lyssie right now, because I'm the host. We don't really get into a debate on this episode. We talk about a lot of AEW moments because it's the 5-year anniversary of AEW. You can probably tell by the title of the video. But let's talk wrestling. Hello. Hi. Yes. It's me, it's Dylan, and I'm here with Lyssie.
Hello, hi, yes, it's me, it's Lyssie.
Oh, we got a two-part episode because pay-per-views and stuff. So this is pre-pay-per-view.
We're recording this on Sunday before Double or Nothing.
Yes, and we'll talk about King and Queen of the Ring as well in part two.
I mean, mainly you'll be talking about it because I did not watch it at all.
Yeah, we'll cover that in part two. It was a slow news week. So there's really nothing news-wise. So we're going to jump right into Raw. We got Dynamite, one thing from Collision. And since it is the 5-year anniversary of AEW, Lyssie and myself will be sharing what we think would be top 5 moments in AEW history. It's our opinions. Mm-hmm. Everyone else has different opinions. So mine are going to be completely different from Lyssie's and all that. But with that being said, and of course Wrestler of the Week, I get the pick. But with that being said, Lyssie, how was your week?
It was a week. I mean, nothing crazy interesting happened. I know I was talking about this on last episode that I got a new phone. And this episode might still... Again, I'm not sure if the actual sound quality is going to change at all. But this episode that we're recording right now is still on my old phone because I just picked it up today from my dad's house and I have to take it in tomorrow to get everything transferred over. So the second part of this episode may sound a bit different. Again, if it does, that's because it's my new phone and hopefully it's better quality. And if not, well, sorry for getting anybody's hopes up in the possibility that, there might be a quality change. But yeah.
Just wait until we get a mic.
Yeah, right? But I just picked that up today. So I'm excited to go tomorrow and get everything all transferred over. So that'll be super cool. No, I mean, aside from that, nothing really crazy happened this week, I don't think. I don't think anything really, super fun to talk about.
Yeah. Same here. It was mostly just work, and then a long weekend now.
Oh yeah, long weekend for you, normal weekend for me.
Yeah.
So, is what it is.
Because it's Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, I'm already off on Mondays.
So that means we get to drink.
No.
I'm drinking a Smirnoff right now.
I'm not drinking anything. I mean, I have a coffee, but...
Red, white, and berry Smirnoff. So, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't really drink. So
we got the Phillies game on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And we're
gonna... Oh, you're not even gonna tell everybody about your fucking Phillies haul?
Oh, I went on a whole Phillies haul yesterday. Cause fuck it, why not? Cause this store in one of the malls that we have, it was they recently opened, right?
Yeah, they just recently opened a couple months ago, and
it's called Rally House.
Yeah, seemingly from the commercials, I'm assuming it's Philly based.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch around Philly.
Like I said when I went in there yesterday, it's you'll be in heaven too with the Jacksonville Jaguar stuff, but
I need a new vape today.
But it's it's mostly Philadelphia Eagles stuff and Phillies stuff and Villanova Flyers, all the Philly sports team stuff and everything. But I got a bunch of Philly stuff, bunch of hats, bunch of shirts. Bought my dad stuff for Father's Day. Bought a Notre Dame hat as well, an Eagles hat, Sublime shirt, Grateful Dead shirt. I bought a couple pairs of pants because work and stuff. Lyssie is looking disgusted because of the vape.
Can you do me a favor?
What?
Well, after this, we record this, we're gonna go pick me up a new vape because my God, there's an emergency vape in the bathroom.
The one right on the sink?
The one right on the sink. Can you go grab that for me? Because that one's still pretty bad.
Well,
but it's not
to the people.
burnt. But yeah, no, Dylan So Dylan texted me yesterday when I was at work and was like, hey, if I'm not home by the time you get out of work, I'm up at this mall because I want to check out the new Rally House and yada yada. So I guess this is kind of fun for me to talk about. I took it upon myself to go to, I don't know if the grocery store that I went to is like a universal grocery store or if it's just something that's in our area. So I'm not going to say the name of the grocery store. But I picked up something called Pickle de Gallo, which is like pico de gallo, but it's made completely of pickles.
And it fucking reeks bad.
Dylan hates pickles. I love pickles.
I hate pickles.
And my coworker got it the other day, brought it in as like a universal thing for us to all eat, and it was fucking delicious. So I picked up the regular version of it and the hot version of it, and that was super cool and super fun, super awesome. But I had no idea that Dylan like spent as much money as he did, or like went as all out as he did. And when I finally got home, he still wasn't home, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna walk up. And as soon as like I closed my door, his car pulls around, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just go over to him and walk up with him. And he's like, I spent so much, I'm so sorry.
I also got a Philly Fanatic stuffed animal because I couldn't help myself.
Dylan knew that if he came home with a stuffed animal, I couldn't be that mad at him, so.
Lyssie, fun fact, Lyssie never, Lyssie's not interested in baseball.
I really could not care any less about baseball, but I think the Philly Fanatic is really cute.
So, I was explaining the Philly Fanatic to her. I was like, look at the stuffed animal. You love it, and she loves it.
He's so cute, and he's green.
I was showing her funny moments of the Philly Fanatic and was telling her the history of the Philly Fanatic pretty much.
He's basically me. He's a wreck.
Oh, he's a fucking disaster. He's the greatest mascot of all time. But
and then we were talking about mascots, and I was like, what's the name of my mascot? Why do I feel like it's something stupid? Like something really stupid like Jackson. And he looked it up and it's Jackson DeVille.
It's Jackson DeVille.
I'm like, all right, well, yeah, I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory. Do the Eagles have a mascot, right?
That's Swoop.
Swoop?
Swoop.
That's such a fun name.
Swoop.
Why is my guy just named Jackson from like the place that they're from, Jacksonville?
And he gets naked.
DeVille.
He strips naked.
Yeah, Florida man. Yeah, sounds fucking about right.
It's fucking weird.
Sounds about right. I hope that every time there's a football game, it's just Darby in there. Darby doing Darby shit. Yeah.
Watch it be Tony Khan.
Dude, I would honestly, you know what? Yeah, put Tony Khan in the Jacksonville. In the Jacksonville Jaguars fucking mascot. What the fuck?
This is coming from an Eagles fan. I want the Jaguars to win a Super Bowl because I just want to see Tony Khan on the makeshift stage at the Super Bowl, yay, my team won, and pointing at Trevor Lawrence, the Trevor Lawrence, he gets the point picture. Or the hug.
Yeah, the hug.
The hug. Triple H is the point.
Yeah, the cheesy Tony smile that he always does.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking love that shit. But yeah, no. Did we talk about how there's a possibility we might go to an Eagles game?
No, we haven't talked about that yet.
Let's talk, since we have a lot of time for this episode.
We're talking sports. This is turning into the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah. So Dylan asked for tickets to the Philadelphia Eagles game in Philly. Specifically the one that is the Eagles versus the Jags, because it's in Philly.
It's in Philly.
And
we live close to Philly.
Yeah, we're pretty close to Philly. So I'm kind of excited for it, because I guess technically this is my second football game I've ever been to, but I don't count the Tampa Bay one because I don't remember it.
You don't remember
so it. If I don't remember something, it basically doesn't exist to me, because I don't remember it enough. But yeah, so this would be the first football game that I will remember going to. And I can't even cheer for my own fucking team because the fucking Eagles fans are goddamn insane.
Oh, yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
And there's not gonna be another person in teal there, and if there is, they're gonna get pummeled. And I don't want to get pummeled, so I can't even cheer for my fucking team.
And I don't feel like having to fight someone.
No, and I was telling my dad about it the other day because we were out to breakfast last Monday. And I was like, yeah, we might end up going. Not really sure. He asked for tickets for Christmas type of thing. And my dad's like, for the love of God, don't wear your jersey.
Well, I even warned you. I was like, if we go, we get tickets. Do not wear anything.
I'm not wearing anything Jacksonville. I'll cheer in my heart. So, but it'll be fun.
Honestly, sit there and just.
I'll cheer for the Eagles.
Enjoy the fucking disaster of what it's going to be.
I'll cheer for the Eagles, but if we score a touchdown or get points or whatever. In my little teal heart, I'll go, yay.
Like,
I'll go, yippee, yahoo!
Oh, man. We're talking about the same fucking people that pelted Santa Claus with snowballs.
Yeah, my dad was like, dude, they go after kids. You're the size of a kid, so... I'm like, thanks, Dad.
My grandparents took my dad before when he was younger.
To an Eagles game?
Yeah, and it was the Broncos and Eagles, and my dad was wearing a Broncos jacket, and they gave him shit. My grandfather almost had to fight someone, because he was like, he's just a kid. Like, why are you...
Yeah.
My uncle... He's a Giants fan.
Yeah.
And he actually had to get escorted by the police to his car because he was wearing a Giants jacket and it was snowing and they were throwing snowballs at him.
Yeah, see, I'm not doing that.
The police came in clutch for him.
Dude, I'm gonna start crying. Like, I can't.
It's like, if you don't know the Eagles Stadium, Lincoln Financial Field, that's where WrestleMania was at. There is a jail in the stadium.
Yeah.
It's the only NFL stadium to have a jail.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I feel like I can't even wear anything AEW. Someone there's gonna know. Yeah. They'll know. And they'll come after me.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear anything AEW there when WWE was just there for their biggest event.
No, someone will know. They'll be like, that's the guy that owns the Jaguars, and we're against them right now.
Just wear a Tony Khan shirt.
Oh my god, dude! I still really want to make the fucking Jim Cornette face shirt, but Tony Khan.
That would be funny. I think Tony should have merch.
I think Tony should have merch.
Funny.
Honestly, it would be so funny. It would be so stupid. I would so wear a Tony Khan Jim Cornette face shirt.
The thing is,
hands down,
people would buy it.
Yeah,
because it's just fucking funny.
It's hilarious. It's so stupid.
Funny.
But yeah, no. So I mean, I'll have fun at the game. I'll just have to maybe I'll wear like one of your Eagles hoodies or something, so I could at least be a safe bet.
Yeah.
And then everyone will just ignore me and not talk to me.
I'll give you the black Brian Dawkins jersey.
Sure.
Because I'm probably gonna wear my Kelsey jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be like November and it's cold, so like I honestly might just like wear 10 jackets.
Yeah,
because I'll be dying.
It's gonna be cold.
I will be fucking dying.
And it's Sunday night football game, so
yeah. But anyway, aside from I guess all that, I guess we could kind of get into talking about the wrestling stuff. If you don't have anything else you want to talk to people about.
No. The Phillies are on a roll, but they're losing right now. That's all I'm gonna say. But go Phillies, go Eagles.
Go Jags.
Anyway, let's jump into Monday Night Raw and a few things from this past Monday on Raw. So, Chad Gable had a match against Sami Zayn. It was a one-on-one match, and I like the story of what Alpha Academy is doing right now. Chad Gable as well, he's being a Chad. Mm-hmm. Corey Graves said it yesterday on King of the Ring. He's being a Little League coach. So he's being a Chad, and everyone else is being pretty much held hostage. Like every time, so like in this match, every time that they had a chance, like Chad was giving them like opportunities to like cheat. Like had like Maxine try to slap Sammy, or tried like Akira Tozawa to slap Sammy, and they wouldn't. Yeah. Except Otis. Mm-hmm. But you can tell Otis doesn't want to do it.
He's just doing it because he like has to.
Yeah, he's the main guy in the Alpha Academy next to Chad Gable, and even after the match, like he apologized to Sammy, but Sammy didn't want to hear it and all of that. So I kind of like it. I'm really digging the implosion of the Alpha Academy, and hopefully soon we get Chad Gable and the Creed brothers together. And I also really like that they found a fucking way to insert "You Suck" chants into Chad Gable's theme. Yeah. Like he is peak perk Gable.
I wasn't paying too much attention to Raw. I don't exactly remember what I was doing when Raw was on. But I know I wasn't paying too much attention. But nonetheless, like of what's going on with Chad Gable, like I really like him a lot more as a heel. Like, and I like that he's getting the push that he deserves because he is fucking fantastic. Yeah. And I love that people online are getting mad about him. Yeah. People are like, I don't know, he's annoying, he pisses me off. And I'm like, oh my god, guys.
That's what a heel's supposed to do, you
breaking news. A heel is a heel.
A heel doing heel things.
Wow. A heel does heel things. Wowee. But, no, I think I remember, maybe we were talking about this last week.
People get mad over anything on Twitter, like, let's talk about this really quick.
Okay.
The Jimmy Jacobs pyro thing.
Oh, yeah, everyone was mad that he was getting so much power, and it's like, I'm sorry, guys, do you know who Jimmy Jacobs is to Ring of Honor?
The fucking
like,
zombie
shut the
princess.
fuck up. But no, I think I said this, like, last week on the podcast about Bailey and Sasha Banks when they were tag team champions.
And you hated them.
I fucking couldn't stand them. And, like, this was when I started getting back into watching wrestling back in, like, 2020. And I fucking hated them. I was like, they're terrible. They're awful. I can't stand them. I'm over them. They keep doing shady fucking shit to win. Yada, yada, yada. And I was so fucking pissed off about them. And then they lost their belts and, you know, whatever, and broke up. And then I was really sad that they weren't together anymore. But, like, they fucking did it so goddamn well. That's what they were fucking supposed to do. And that's what fucking Chad Gable is doing. And he's doing it so fucking well. So, you know what? I'm excited that people are bitching about him being, like, a heel, because he's doing a good fucking job. And then in years come, when he's no longer doing this and he's no longer a heel, people are probably going to be like, God damn, I miss when he was a heel. He was so fucking good. Like, I couldn't fucking stand him.
And that's why, like, every time you bitch about The Miz, I'm like, he's doing his job.
I know. I will gladly. I hate The Miz. I hate him so fucking much. The only time I was ever able to stand The Miz was when he was with Morrison. Like, I like him with R-Truth, too. Like, I like when The Miz is funny, but when The Miz by himself, I just don't like him. I don't think he's, like, he's not my favorite wrestler.
And he's doing a good job at it.
I don't think he's, like, a bad wrestler, but I just don't like him as a wrestler. I don't care for his matches.
Fun fact.
But I know that he's, like, he's like an old reliable. You know, he does his job really fucking well, so I will always give him the credit for that. I just don't like him.
Fun fact, Bryce, like, so me and Bryce will randomly message each other throughout the week. Like
randomly? I don't think you guys ever stop talking.
We don't. But, like, we'll
They're
stop
married.
We'll stop talking for, like, maybe an hour or two or something. The conversation dies down and everything. And then Bryce randomly messages me and goes, yo, I gotta really say, I'm really digging what The Miz is doing. He was fucking cooking last night. He's a really good wrestler.
Bryce, I'm sure you're listening. You're so wrong, but sure, whatever, fine. See, the thing is, Bryce can never come on this podcast because I'm going to be so outnumbered.
Oh, I can't wait for the day he's on this podcast.
I'm going to be so...
It's going to happen.
It's going to get to a point, right? Like, if Bryce is ever on this fucking podcast...
Well, unless we do the one episode of where we shit talk KWA the whole time.
Okay,
that would just be a round table of the three of us.
If we ever have Bryce on this podcast and we're talking about, like, the past week of wrestling or whatever, or something or another about wrestling, it'll get to a point where Dylan and Bryce are just going back and forth with each other, like, talking, like, and agreeing with each other, and I'm just gonna get up and walk away for probably, like, 30 minutes, and no one's gonna realize that I've gotten up and walked away. Like, I'm gonna, like, leave, I'm gonna go pick up a fucking pizza or something, and then come back, and they'll be like, where the fuck did this pizza come from? Like, they won't even fucking notice. But I will be so fucking outnumbered. It will be ridiculous. But, yeah, no, I mean, anyway, back on to what we were talking about, Chad Gable. Yeah, no, I like him. I like him a lot.
Me too.
You know, he really is this generation's Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was that they were trying to make this generation's Kurt Angle that wasn't Chad Gable.
Gable Stevenson. He's been
released, right?
Yeah, he was that piece of shit.
Yeah.
R-word.
Yeah. And I just feel like when I remember hearing about that they were trying to make him this generation's Kurt Angle, that was such a fucking slap in the face to Chad Gable. So I'm like, dude, he's literally already it. Like,
yeah.
he's him. He is the guy. Like, why are you trying to make a new guy when the guy already fucking works for you?
Everyone was so, like, you weren't watching around this time, but I think you're aware of this, like, storyline. When they made Jason Jordan Kurt Angle's son.
I'm not aware of this.
So, it was a few years ago. So, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan were American Alpha. They were a tag team in NXT.
Okay, I remember hearing about American Alpha, yeah.
They came up. The thing is, mind you, Chad Gable is a former Olympian as well.
He looks it, yes.
Yeah, he's a former Olympian. And so they split off, like Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, they got, like, drafted in separate brands eventually. Like, they had a nice run on SmackDown and everything, but they split up American Alpha because, you know, you got it. Vince has to break up things that are fucking great.
Yeah.
And everything. And Kurt Angle was the general manager of Raw at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they did, like, this whole fucking weird storyline where Kurt Angle had an illegitimate son. Mind you,
we ran this story already.
Not to bring race into it or anything. Chad Gable's white.
Yes.
So is Kurt Angle.
Yes.
Jason Jordan is mixed.
Okay.
So
Still could have worked, though.
It still could have worked. But everything else that I said as well. Former Olympian, Chad Gable, yada, yada, yada. The way he fucking wrestles. What's Jason Jordan doing now? Well, he had a neck problem. He's an agent now. But they did this whole thing, and it ended up being Jason Jordan as his son.
I feel like Chad Gable kind of looks like a young Kurt Angle, too.
That's what everyone was saying. Everyone was saying why. And this was when they made Chad Gable Shorty G. That was like the start of Shorty G.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah, like, they fucked up Chad Gable. Like, they're finally doing Chad Gable right. Let's put it that way. And, yeah, it's been a rough couple of years of Chad Gable, but he's so fucking good. And at first, I didn't really care for the Alpha Academy when they first started because it was like, what the fuck? Like, why is Chad Gable with Otis?
Yeah.
And then I started understanding what they were doing, and then it grew on me more and more, and now he's a heel, and I'm like, God damn, this is what we needed. So I'm really digging it. And also, something else that I'm really digging. Braun fucking Breaker.
What's going on with him? He's doing squash matches.
Yeah,
right?
but he murdered that jobber.
Yeah.
He murdered it. They're building him up.
Yeah, I know.
Something big. Like, he's losing his mind. He's pissed that he wasn't in the King of Ring tournament. Adam Pearce can't control him. He's beating up jobbers. He murdered him. I love it. He's going to be a fucking world champion
What the
one
hell
day.
didn't Adam Pearce say something to him that was, like, really fucking funny the other day on Raw? Where he was saying something like, I can't do the math, you do it, or something.
Yeah.
Or, I'm not good at math, you do it.
Yeah. He was pissed because he murdered the jobber.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like Braun.
He's going to be a fucking star.
Yeah, I fucking hope so. Because, I don't know, I saw some people bitching about the fucking squash matches on the internet, where they were like, what are we doing with him? Why is he just doing squash matches? I don't understand what squash matches are for. Yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I mean, at this point, it's just kind of trying to build up the fact that he's pissed off right now, and he's just kind of taking out anybody that's in his way. It reminds me of, like, the same thing that, like, Wardlow did when they were, like, really building up Wardlow. Well, and he had, like, all these fucking squash matches, and he just fucking killed everyone.
It's the Goldberg syndrome. It works.
Yeah.
It does work. And the funny thing is, these people that bitch about squash matches are the same people that are like, man, I miss the old days of wrestling. And it's like, you know what they did back in the old days? It was 90% squash matches. Like, the only time that there wasn't squash matches, go watch Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah.
Because that's when they would not do squash matches. Go watch any early episode of Raw. They're all squash matches.
Yeah.
It works, though. It gets the talent over.
Well, yeah, I mean, you just kind of need it to do, like, to show, like, their main moves and whatnot and everything, and get people hyped about seeing them. And then, I mean, also, like, a lot of the times, and I mean, AEW does this, I think, maybe a little bit more so than WWE does when it comes to squash matches. But, like, when I see, like, a squash match in AEW, 9 times out of 10, on occasion, no, but 9 times out of 10, it rolls right into, like, a promo or a segment or something that has to do with that person to kind of further the storyline.
This was more so a segment, too.
Yeah.
Well, because Braun murdered him, and the referee, Braun didn't even pin him. The referee stopped it.
The referee's like, he's dead.
He's dead. Like, stop it. So, Braun's gonna be a fucking star, and I can't wait for the eventual. He probably gets paired with Paul Heyman. Probably, I see that happening. And he's gonna murder everyone, all of our faves, like CM Punk, Drew McIntyre.
Don't put him in the ring with CM Punk, because CM Punk's gonna get injured again.
I can't wait until he has a triple threat and he gets to cut his infamous promo.
Yeah.
Yes, like his uncle. But let's go into... I wasn't even fucking paying attention, but I noticed it on TV, and I just literally wrote this word for word. Oh, look! Another Fatal 4-Way Tag Match. Just going back to last week's episode.
I didn't even watch this.
Again, why are we doing just fucking Fatal 4-Way Tag Matches? They're fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Book the tag division better.
I mean, again, I'm always here for a multiple man tag match of, like, Fatal 4-Ways or whatever, triple threat tag matches or whatever. But, like, it's... If there's a story that encompasses it, then that's fine. But when we're just throwing this together literally every single week with nothing, like, actually backing it, it's kind of like, what's the fucking point?
It's just, they need to book the tag division better.
Like, again, unless we're furthering a story or there's a story that's in this match to begin with as to why it's happening, it's just fucking insane. I'm so over it. I'm over WWE's fucking tag division.
Yeah, it needs to be better.
Yeah.
It hasn't been good in years.
Ever.
No, it was good at one point in time.
It was good when Edge and Christian and the Hardys and the Dudleys fucking existed.
Yeah, and then before that, it was good when the Hart Foundation and Demolition and all that. But anyway, the main event of Raw was the semifinals between Gunther and Jey Uso, and Gunther won, so everyone on Twitter can shut the fuck up and stop crying, because everyone was gonna fucking cause a riot if Jey Uso pinned Gunther.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, but at least Gunther won. We're not gonna try to give away too much, because we'll cover King of the Ring and everything, but Gunther, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't watch this match.
You didn't watch this match?
You fell asleep and you turned it off, I'm pretty sure.
No, we watched it.
We did?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention then.
I stayed up because I was like, oh, good. Gunther won. He won with another submission move, which is good.
That's cool. At least I didn't pin him.
Yeah.
At least I didn't pin Jay, so that's cool. But yeah, no, I wasn't watching. I don't know what the fuck I was doing during Raw. I legitimately have no idea what I was doing.
It was one of those episodes of Raw where it was just like, eh.
I feel like the whole week of WWE television was just kind of like.
Well, yeah, like we're not even covering SmackDown. It was just. Damn.
I don't even know what the fuck happened on SmackDown aside from the fact that it was pretty nifty at the least that they were in that fucking stadium for a SmackDown.
Oh yeah, that was why. It's hard to like cover the Saudi shows.
Well, because they were in the same stadium that King and Queen of the Ring was at.
Yeah.
For SmackDown, and normally they tape it. Which, I mean, I guess technically to us it was like, not necessarily tape, but like a replay of it, because we didn't get it live.
It was taped, it was live to tape.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
But, no, I did think that the setup was pretty fucking cool that they had for it.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
It's just hard to watch those Saudi Arabia shows because, you know, most of those people there are forced.
I mean,
It's just, everything with Saudi Arabia, don't shoot me. I'm innocent, but everything like with the whole Saudi Arabia government and all of that is just it's just hard to watch, knowing like that this country is literally a hostage fucking country, and it's
we were talking a little bit about it at work because again I wasn't watching King and Queen of the Ring at work, and I think Mark was, and he was kind of talking to me a little bit as it was going on. I was like, oh, I don't have it on and whatnot. I don't really... I mean, even so, the card, I don't even know what the card was supposed to be. And in general, it wasn't one that I was, like, necessarily really going to care about watching anyway. So I was just kind of whatever. We were talking about it a little bit. And I was like, here's the thing, right? Like, it's I have an issue with the government there. I don't have an issue with the people that just happen to be born and live there and like live into this type of thing. Like, it's one of those things where it's just because you're unfortunately like there like you aren't a bad person for being there. I have a problem with your government because I feel like, you know, things should be different from you and you should have like more of a free life to be living than you do.
And like the women gotta cover up fucking neck the feet.
I was even seeing something on Twitter where like they were like WWE was posting like, you know, it was like Jade and Bianca and a couple of other. They were at the beach and having a good time and whatnot at Saudi, in Saudi, and then someone was like, you know, it's interesting because they're promoting all of this and like the women having a good time, which, you know, don't get me wrong, have a good time, women, but literally a month ago there was a woman's activist in Saudi Arabia who got arrested because she was speaking out on Twitter about women's rights.
Well,
and she got fucking arrested.
The wild thing is they're at the beach, okay? Mm-hmm. Two things here. They're at the beach, and someone said it's just wild that they're able to like live freely here on this side of the ocean or whatever, and then when they go on the other side of the ocean for tomorrow's show, they got to cover up and all of this. And
well, no, I think they were at the beach in Saudi Arabia.
yeah, but it was where it depends where it's at on the
I
they were
wasn't
on
aware.
the other side of the ocean.
Oh.
And then if you go look at the post, they're thanking literally the government of being like, thank you for having us at your beach. And they're tagging like the government or whatever.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Again, it's like,
don't come after me again.
It's all just, it is quite literally all just blood money. And, it's a shame. You know what I mean?
I'm glad CM Punk did his UFC.
I'm glad he legitimately didn't, he actually stuck to his word, because part of me was just I kind of feel like he's going to go back on his word and show up. But, no, I mean, it's just weird. And they had a 10-year deal with the fucking government.
Yeah, and they're trying to bring WrestleMania there, the Rumble, and it's a fucking mess. Honestly, if I was in WWE, if I was an employee, if I was a wrestler, go ahead, call me out on bullshit or whatever. Even if I was the fucking champion and this was my one and only WrestleMania moment, and they're like, WrestleMania is gonna be in Saudi and you can main event. No.
Yeah, because they at least give you the option.
Yeah,
to go, right?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'm sorry. I'll travel the world. I'll go to fucking Scotland for Clash at the Castle. I'll go to England, Japan. I'm not going to Saudi Arabia. Again, don't come after me.
It's just, I don't know.
I just don't agree with your politics.
I think we'll be fine, Dylan.
I'm just saying.
It's just unfortunate. You know what I mean?
Don't come and find me.
I wish life was different for people that basically were in a hostage situation like that. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Everyone deserves a chance to live a life that they want to live themselves.
It's just, like I said, it's just hard watching those shows because, yeah, it seems like they're having a good time and all of that, but are they really?
I hope they are. I hope they are. I hope that it's at least something fun that they're doing.
Are they really? Because did you really want to come to this show?
Is there hard evidence and facts that they get forced to go?
There's rumor and innuendo with it and everything, and the whole I don't want to get into that mess of the Collision in Korea story and all that, but people were forced to go to that too.
Yeah, well,
that's why there was such a big fucking crowd.
That was North Korea.
Yeah,
North Korea.
Don't come after us.
Is fucking insane. Neither of us are Korean. Neither of us are from North Korea. And if we are in the States from North Korea, that's a fucking shock.
Yeah.
But no, North Korea is fucking insane. So yeah, I'm really not surprised about that in the slightest.
Anyway, let's move on to Dynamite. And I just gotta state something really quick right on the top here of Dynamite. So there was people in the crowd holding up star signs. And honestly, I think they should never be allowed back to a wrestling show ever again because it's so fucking stupid.
Stop being dramatic.
I don't care what signs you make, but goddamn, the fact that you're making star signs and you're 5 stars, fuck off.
Stop being
fuck off.
This is coming from the same fucking person who every time goes to fucking Walmart. Well, when we're done at the self-checkout, there's the little star rating of your visit, and if nobody bothers him, he goes, they get a 5-star rating. Good match.
I gave it a 2-star today.
Which I don't think you should be doing. I'm sure the store gets impacted from it.
It's Walmart. Who really gives a fuck?
I don't want the fucking poor employees that are just trying to make a fucking wage in their life get fired because they have bad star ratings.
They deserve better. Anyway.
They do deserve better, but, we don't live in an economy where you can.
Who gives a fuck about Walmart in all reality?
Unfortunately, too many fucking people.
Alright, but let's go into this. I was proven wrong. I will admit it. So if we go back to last week's episode, I said that Swerve and Nick Wayne were probably going to have a 15 to 20 minute match, and it's going to be 50-50, and Swerve should murder him. I was wrong. I timed it. The match went only 8 minutes and 53 seconds, and it really wasn't a 50-50 match. It was mostly Nick Wayne running away and Swerve beating his ass. But the match should have technically ended earlier, in my opinion, because Swerve was whipping Nick Wayne with his belt in 2 minutes in. And that's technically an illegal object. And that should have been called for a disqualification. But Nick Wayne and Swerve always have good matches.
See, Dylan can't just enjoy wrestling.
No, I can't.
He has to sit there and fucking time shit.
I wanted to see if I was going to be wrong or not.
And then if he's right, he's like, yeah, see, this is stupid. This is blah, blah, blah. Just enjoy the fucking show.
I just wanted to see how long they were going to go.
I don't care about the illegal weapon either. It was funny. It was fun. It was great. It was awesome, amazing, incredible, impeccable. Love it.
I'm just happy that it didn't go 15, 20 minutes. Because
I really don't care if it would have. But I understand where you're coming from with it.
Make your champion look weak. At least he won in 8 minutes.
I understand where you're coming from with it, but, like, I mean, again, Nick Wayne and Swerve always put on a good match, and with Nick Wayne being, like, the heel in this situation, it was clever and fun and smart, and he just ran away and got his ass fucking handed to him, so...
Yeah, that was the whole point of it.
It was fun. I wasn't mad about it, and, you know, leading into a good fucking setup for Double or Nothing tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, Citizens Bank is the official bank of the Phillies?
That's the name of the baseball park. Citizens Bank Park.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Citizens Bank fucked me over once.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't like Citizens.
Alright, we're not going to get into that, though. But we're going to get into... At least AEW isn't like WCW when it comes to doing the blood spot from the ceiling.
Dude, we need to talk about this so fucking hardcore, because why did it come out of a fucking, like, power washer?
Why did it look like cranberry sauce?
It probably was. Like, honestly, I could see Tony being like, I have so much cranberry sauce.
Like, why?
And everyone's like, Tony, why do you have so much cranberry sauce? And he's like, it's a long story. And that's it. And but, like, dude, that thing came out of a fucking pressure washer.
Bro, it came... Bro, the fact that the match after... So, like, they cleaned it up. And I noticed, I was like, oh no, one of them's gonna get hurt because they mopped it. And then it was on the fucking LED screens, which looked badass.
Well, okay, so it obviously, like, it didn't miss Malachi.
It got him.
It hit him in the back. But, like, it didn't come down directly on his head. And we were talking about it at work, and I'm like, thank fucking God it didn't. Because with how fucking projectile that was coming down, he probably dead ass would have gotten a fucking concussion if it hit him straight on the dome. Straight on the dome,
At least it wasn't Kevin Nash.
But Anna was like, so how much cranberry sauce do you think went directly down his fucking butt crack? Because, like, it had to have.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But, dude, that shit was fucking powerful. And there was so much of it.
And at least it wasn't black liquid.
No, like, I mean... It looked like a congealed blood, because it was probably some sort of
it did have some chunk to it.
It looked like a preservative.
It had some chunk to it.
But yeah, no, it was. You know what? I'm not mad about it because it worked well.
It didn't miss him by a mile like Kevin Nash.
No, it hit him right on the back, and then that's when he was like, "Oh, good golly," and then started breakdancing. But
at least they did it somewhat right. So.
And I think it's fun to have Brood Edge come out for, like, a barbed wire steel cage match.
Hopefully we could get...
You know what I mean? Because, like, okay, hold on. Let's backtrack a little bit here. So when Edge was Brood Edge in WWE, like, in his last run through. No, not like the first time.
We become who we become.
Not the first time Brood Edge, when he, like, brought it back after he came back from retirement. Was he ever in any sort of, like, high-stakes, heavy stipulation match? Because I can't really remember. Like, I feel like if we're bringing out the diabolical Brood Edge, it needs to be, like a barbed wire steel cage match. It has to be something fucking insane.
He technically did it with Finn at WrestleMania.
When it was the Brood and the Demon?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, that makes sense.
And he came out the Slayer.
Yeah, okay.
But, like, they did the Hell in the Cell. He did it a few times here and there. I forget who he else did it to, but he did it a few times.
Yeah, he didn't do it a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I want it out when he's, like, in this fucking, like, high-stakes situation where it's, like, all or nothing type of thing.
Yeah.
Double or nothing, if you would. And no, and especially also against, like, Malachi, like, I think it's a good fucking fit. And maybe we'll see Gangrel. I don't know. I hope so. That'd be really fucking cool.
Yeah. So they had a interesting main event on Dynamite. Very interesting main event of what is wrestling between Bryan Danielson and Satnam Singh. Sanjay is the table.
I don't know. I firmly fucking believe that there was no table spot intended to be set up, and that Sanjay Dutt just wanted to cause mayhem and intentionally broke the table.
Like, he ripped off one piece of the table, and the whole table just collapsed.
Ripped off the front of the table.
And it just collapsed.
Like, the front wall of the table, he just ripped off for whatever reason.
This match was so fucking wild for no reason.
It was unneeded.
It was so unneeded. It was funny as shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
It was not a fantastic match by the stretch, but it was fun.
They kept it short.
It was really fun. I enjoyed it, and
what mattered the most was afterwards.
Ghost
Ghost
stop
scratching the walls.
Scratching the walls.
What mattered the most was after the match, because you heard of Pillman's Got a Gun, but now it's called Darby has a flamethrower.
Which I didn't think was a flamethrower at first.
I thought it was a gun.
I legitimately thought he brought out a fucking gun. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Let's backtrack here. So the match happens. Jeff Jarrett and Bryan Danielson are going at it. Yes, Jeff Jarrett. Double J. Haha. Spending my days working hard on the go. Anyway, so they're going at it. It's Memphis Wrestling Mayhem.
Ghost! Can you get him? Get him.
It's Memphis Wrestling Mayhem. And next thing you know, Tony Khan pulls up with Darby Allin. Mm-hmm. He does. Tony Khan can drive. Apparently, he has his license. That's actually dangerous. I honestly,
he's a grown man. Of course, he has his license.
I wouldn't trust Tony Khan with my life, though.
I would trust Tony Khan driving me somewhere.
No, but Darby pulls up and it looks like he has a gun, but it was a flamethrower.
You know,
someone's getting set on fire in Anarchy in the Arena.
I was really like, it took 3 Anarchy in the Arenas until someone decided to pull up with a gun. It took only 3 of them.
Cash Wheeler's in it. Never say never.
But, yeah, Jack's getting set on fire.
Yeah.
Jack's getting set on fire, hands fucking down. He was already practicing. He set himself on fire a month ago. So, Jack Perry's getting set on fire tonight. Through and through, 100% fully believe that this is what's happening.
Probably.
And I'm excited to see him get set on fire.
And that leads into Collision. One thing to talk about Collision was a match of the year candidate. Big 6-man tag. Bryan Danielson and FTR versus Team Double J Lethal and Satnam Singh. Mm-hmm. Bryan Danielson and Jeff Jarrett got the tie up. Jeff Jarrett hit a Japanese arm drag, and Jeff Jarrett put over that young talent Bryan Danielson clean. And then we went off the air with big hoorah speeches.
Yeah, like Cash and Dax gave like a speech, and then Danielson didn't fucking say anything.
It was a good trios match. I was happy to see Bryan Danielson and Jeff Jarrett wrestle.
Yeah, no, honestly, it was a really fun match. I liked when Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal were just sitting outside, like literally on chairs, and Satnam was just taking care of business and shit.
Let Satnam do his thing.
But that was funny. I also like how Karen Jarrett was out there and Tony Schiavone's on commentary, and he's just like, I don't trust Karen Jarrett. She's a bitch.
Bro, commentary was wild last night. I didn't have this written down, but Nigel was fucking thirsting over Mariah May.
He's always thirsting over Mariah May.
He made like 6 Motley Crue references and was just fucking thirsting.
He gave her a standing ovation, and Tony Schiavone was like, "You're a grown man."
He was thirsting, risen her up, as the kids say.
Dude, I still can't get over how much Nigel McGuinness looks like your dad. Like, it's actually uncanny. They wear the same hat.
Now people know what my dad looks like.
If your dad was British, your dad's Nigel McGuinness.
Oh, God.
Like, hands fucking down. That is your dad right there.
Oh, God.
Insane.
Nigel McGuinness is my dad.
Fucking insane. Like, I need to do, like, a side-by-side picture of them. Because it is actually ridiculous, the uncanniness of them.
They dress the same, too.
They do! They dress like honestly, if I didn't know any better, if I just started watching wrestling and I, like, tuned in, I would have thought that was your dad. I would have been like, when the fuck did your dad get a commentary gig?
I wish.
Like, what the fuck?
Imagine him and Nigel together.
Oh my God, they'd be best friends.
They would.
Hands down, they'd be best friends.
Oh.
But, I mean, yeah, there wasn't too much crazy going on Collision that, like...
There wasn't a lot of crazy just wrestling to begin with.
No, I mean, wrestling was kind of just like, it was what it was this week. I mean, before we get into the 5 most important moments of AEW, since Collision was where we're tailing it off for the week of wrestling, I want to talk about that the Young Bucks went and did a meet and greet at Champs.
Oh yeah, that was on Collision technically.
And yeah, because they did like the little sneak preview of it, which was really cool, and I'm very happy for everyone that got to go. I'm also a little jealous because fuck. But yeah, so they did a meet and greet at Champs, and
they were being the cash register person.
Yeah, they had their shoes for sale, the Reeboks for sale there, early drop, and did a meet and greet with all the fans and stuff. And it looked like a lot of fun. They dressed up as Champs employees. Like, they walked in with their fucking suits on and then changed into joggers and the fucking, like, Champs t-shirts and the lanyards and stuff. They were scanning people's, like, fucking stuff and, like, doing the register shit and whatnot. And insane. Ridiculous. First day they ever worked retail in their entire lives, from what Matt said. I think that's what Matt said. He was like, this is my first time ever working retail. So, fucking wild, man. Absolutely insane. Again, I think that's really cool. You know, that's fun. Again, wish it was me, but very happy for everybody else that got to go and got the shoes and whatnot. The shoes are going to be out tomorrow at 10 o'clock, or, well, no, not tomorrow. Monday, the 27th.
That's tomorrow.
Well, when they hear this, it's Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's not going to be Wednesday when they're going to come out. So
they're already out.
Yeah, they're already out. And you will find out on the second part of this episode what size I got, because I'm ordering them tomorrow at 10 o'clock, hands down.
Unless he's going to order like a size 14.
Well, the thing is, like, they probably don't make them in my size. Honestly, I should actually go on Reddit and see if anybody's talked about the meet and greet and what, like, fucking size range they came in. But they're coming out in men's sizes, and I think for that same style, they only start a 7.5, which is nowhere even close to my shoe size. So, I mean, they're just going to be something I'm buying for display to go with my Diodoras that I have that also didn't come out in my size. But I need them because they're cool as fuck. They're cool fucking shoes. So, yeah, you'll hear all about that on probably the Thursday episode. I think is when we release 2 parts, is Tuesday and Thursday. So the Thursday episode, you'll hear all about my adventures in buying the shoes. But yeah, I just think those types of meet and greets are really fucking cool. So, you know, very spontaneous and fun. Anyway, with that being said, I'll let you start this off because I'm kind of winging this.
Okay.
Because also you said I'm not allowed to have the same things that you have.
Yes.
So this is going to be difficult for me.
So, since it's the 5-year anniversary of AEW, I'm picking, like, from the first 5 years of AEW's best moments, and so is Lyssie, so technically there'll be 10. So I'm going to go in order here, explain why and stuff and everything like that. So there's no particular, like, order, like, this isn't 1 to 10 or 10 to 1 or 1 to 5, 5 to 1. It's just how I wrote them and everything. So number 1, kind of a biased choice. I don't care. The debut of CM Punk. The return of CM Punk. Because, in all reality, say what you want, whatever. If it wasn't for AEW, CM Punk probably wouldn't have returned to wrestling.
Or at least not as soon.
Yeah, not as soon.
Because once Triple H took over, seemingly from what Punk was saying, is when they kind of started maybe getting in contact with him. And
you gotta admit, it was a special fucking moment.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big moment. We dealt with the broken pro wrestling store that ordered the shirts.
Oh my god, 2 hours.
Yeah.
It took us 2 hours to order the fucking shirt.
We had a watch party here for Rampage.
Yeah.
It was on Rampage, and it was something fucking special, man. And
who was over? It was you, me,
Go-Go, and that other bitch that we don't talk about anymore. That always complains about stupid shit. That drinks alcohol as soon as they turn 21.
Oh, yeah.
I will not say their name.
Oh,
But Go-Go.
That was it?
But Go-Go was here.
There wasn't more people?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I feel like we had a bunch of people.
But Go-Go was here.
Yeah, Go-Go was here. Yeah. Love you, Go-Go.
But yeah, fuck that other bitch. Anyway, anything to say about the Punk debut?
I cried.
You did cry.
I cried a lot, and then we went to Taco Bell, and I was still crying in the Taco Bell drive-thru. While I was driving, so it's, you know.
And I kept refreshing the pro wrestling piece.
Don't cry and drive, kids.
I literally, like, I think, I can't even tell you what else happened on that Rampage, because I think once they announced the shirts are on sale, I'm on that pro wrestling team. I'm on, like, 5 different websites.
Well, also, it kind of, like, Punk took up 40 minutes of it. 30, 40 minutes of it.
He took up, like, the first half of it. Like,
so there might have been, like, 2 other matches that went on. It was mainly just for Punk.
Yeah. It was called The First Dance.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. Another best moment is the Brody Lee tribute.
Mm-hmm.
It was during the pandemic. Brody Lee is probably one of the greatest what-ifs in AEW history, one of the greatest what-ifs in wrestling history. He showed up during really the beginning of the pandemic, had a great run as a TNT champion, had great fucking matches, one in particular with Cody, the dog collar match was great, and he unfortunately passed away from like a lung issue or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that.
A non-COVID related.
Yeah, a non-COVID.
Like, lung issue.
Yeah, and it came out of nowhere. And actually, the first 2 of these kind of connect. The reason why Punk did choose AEW is because the way they handled the Brody Lee situation.
It came out of nowhere for the fans, but there was a lot...
They kept it under wraps.
They kept it under wraps for respect of his family and everything.
And
so
they did like a big tribute show, and it was a very nice tribute show that they did.
-1 like booked the whole thing, right?
Yeah, it was just a bunch of like random tag matches. And that's all it was literally just his favorite wrestlers tag team, and he got to hit MJF with a kendo stick, I believe.
Yeah.
They rewarded Brody Lee as TNT champion for life. The boots were left in the ring and all that, which it was a nice show.
They gave his TNT belt to -1.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
The original TNT belt. Yeah.
That was a red strap. The
red strap.
Yeah.
Yep, the red strap one. But yeah, it was very nice, and I miss Brody Lee every fucking day, man. I really do. Brody Lee was like one of those like early bright spots in AEW where it's like, fuck, man, like.
It's also really nice to see people like constantly like share like him on Being the Elite and everything, because he was so funny.
Oh man, him on Being the Elite is one of the greatest moments of Being the Elite history.
He was hilarious.
Making fun of Vince McMahon.
Him and John Silver the whole fucking time, like. So fucking good.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Griff Garrison?
Who the fuck is Griff Garrison?
You're supposed to get Jungle Boy.
Man, Dark Order could have been fucking something special.
Yeah. I don't even know what they're doing now.
They're just doing Being the Dark Order.
Well, no, I mean, I think they're on Ring of Honor doing stuff, but I'm not
Alex
sure
Reynolds was happy that he has his figure now. That's all I see.
Love Alex Reynolds. Love Alex Reynolds. I need to find his figure because I love him a lot.
If you do see his figure, we need it because we have Brody, we have John Silver, and we have Evil Uno.
Yeah.
We need to get the Anna Jay one too.
Yeah, we need to find Anna.
Anna! Anyway, number 3, surviving the pandemic with less than a year as a company. Like, WWE would have been fine regardless.
Yeah.
Everyone took a hit. All the indie companies, all the wrestling companies, everyone. Not even just wrestling. Sports, fucking jobs, all that. AEW was literally... They started on TV in October of 2019. And then March of 2020, they had to do TV in front of nobody.
Yeah.
And they survived it. And we went to the movie theater for the first show back with fans, and that was Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing 2021.
Yeah.
And that was my first ever experience watching AEW.
They survived it. And, like, props to everyone, but big props to AEW for surviving this. It was a confusing time, a big mess. Props to everyone that survived it, pretty much, because... What the fuck? Like, bro, just to think that was 4 years ago. It's
impressive that they were able to hold on for having very, very, very little experience being on TV to begin with, and then being on TV with no fans.
Yeah, and...
No fans, like, there.
Yeah, they made it work. Both companies made it work in different ways. WWE did the Thunderdome. And AEW did, let's just put our wrestlers.
And you know what? I think it was also very beneficial for this to happen to AEW as early on as it did, because it gave them a very interesting opportunity to experiment with stuff that may or may not have worked.
Yeah.
And because, like, I mean, WWE was experimenting too, but AEW being so brand new, they were able to just experiment with ideas that they had that may or may not work.
We got
and just kind of say fuck it and see what the fans at home how the reception was.
Some moments, some ridiculous moments that stick out. The Mimosa Mayhem match of Jericho and Orange Cassidy. Chris Jericho and MJF doing a fucking musical. The presidential debate.
Yep.
What else did they have? Stadium Stampede.
Stadium Stampede was fucking cool.
It was good, but it's just football fuckery.
I mean, Stadium Stampede is now basically anarchy in the arena.
Yeah.
But I think if they do a Double or Nothing at Daly's Place again, it'll kind of turn back into Stadium in the Stampede.
It's just funny. But there was some like big bright moments, like going back Brody Lee, or I'm trying to think of like other bright moments. That was the birth of Blood and Guts.
Yeah.
Too. Even though it didn't end on like the best terms or anything. We also got to see like the rise of certain stars. Like I know they're cooled down now and everyone hates them, but the Acclaimed was one of them. We got to like I'm trying to think of like other moments that happened there. And everything. There's 5 years of fucking moments. Jon Moxley held down the fort.
Yeah, seriously.
We got some amazing matches during that pandemic too. So, they survived it. You gotta give them props.
No, 100%. And again, they really were able to kind of expedite what their fan base was looking to see from them.
Sting's debut.
Yeah, Sting's debut
was a big one.
But they were able to just kind of expedite like all the ideas that they had and see what worked and didn't work in this entire time frame.
Throw shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Seriously, like they really made the most out of it. So, I mean, good on them for that.
Next one is a big like 180 from the pandemic, and that's All Out 2021. In my opinion, the best AEW show to date so far.
Yeah.
One of the best. There's a reason why I bought the DVD. And from top to bottom, the card is just perfect. You get CM Punk's in-ring return against Darby. You have the amazing cage match between the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks. Kenny versus Christian Cage in the main event, and everything in between there. And then also the debut of Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole. It was just a pitch perfect show. That was, in my opinion, I know I give AEW shit and all that, but Lissy can confirm this. This is like the peak of like my fandom of AEW, where I was like, fuck, like this is what I've been wanting for years. Like I'm so happy that there's another company and all that. And I hope AEW, like I don't want AEW to die. As much as I bitch and complain about AEW and all that, I don't want it to die. I love that there's another company. I love that there's pretty much an alternative. I just want them to get back to where they were. Yeah. And that was like, man, do that again. Yeah. Because, fuck, that was really cool. And that's when you fell in love with the Young Bucks, technically.
Well, yeah, that's going to be on my list. Yeah. So, what's your fifth one?
My fifth one is, this was also a big one, was having All In at Wembley Stadium. Because WWE did SummerSlam 92. That was big, too. But another wrestling promotion doing Wembley Stadium fucking 20 years or something like 30. I can't do math. But 30 years later at All In or at Wembley in All In, I enjoyed it. Yeah. I enjoyed that too. There was a lot of bright moments in that. I loved the storyline between MJF and Adam Cole. I thought that was the peak of their storyline. They won the Ring of Honor tag titles on the pre-show, then they had to face each other in the main event. So that was good. Young Bucks versus FTR, that was 3. And that's when everyone was freaking out if the match was even going to happen. We get the iconic on the pre-show, Real Glass, go cry me a river.
And then, that's when Jack Perry was born.
And then CM Punk comes out smirking the match later, being like, yeah, I just choked out that motherfucker.
And fired like 3 days later or something.
Him and Samoa Joe had a barn burner that opened the show. We had Kenny, Coda, and Hangman versus the Bang Bang Gang. right?
The Bang Bang Gang.
No, it was Takeshita J. White and Juice Robinson. That's what it was. In a trios match. We had Anarchy in the arena there. Well, that was Stadium Stampede, I think. They called it.
I don't remember.
But it was Santana and Ortiz they technically reunited against Blackpool Combat Club. We had the Swerve and Christian versus Sting and Darby coffin match.
Yeah.
House of Black winning the trio. Did they win the trios belts?
Not there, no, because they won them from the Bucks and Kenny.
They just defended them.
I think they defended them.
They had cool gear.
Yeah.
They had cool gear. They were wearing all white. Gato showed up on the pre-show with Jeff Jarrett. It was just really cool to see that, and I can't wait to see what they do this year with All In.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy it. The fact that you can fucking sell out of...
Almost sell out.
Argue the numbers, whatever the fuck. But the fact that you can draw fucking 70, 80,000 people in a stadium, any company, is just fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, that's good. That's good for the wrestling business. No matter what company it is.
At least put it this way, the fact that they had to open up more seating because the tickets were selling out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's fucking
England's
awesome.
a hot crowd for wrestling.
Yeah.
The fucking British love the wrestling, so.
Yeah.
Lissy, those were my 5, so.
Alright, well... I don't know if I don't know. Yours weren't necessarily in order, were they?
No, mine
you
were
just
not.
kind of tossed them all out.
I just said that there's no order to this.
So mine are a little bit more personal than Dylan's were. And I mean like personal speaking, like personal bias kind of. Because like this is top 5 moments for me as an AEW fan, as what I enjoy seeing, yada 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 type thing. So I'll say first and foremost, Hangman winning the AEW World Championship, because for the entire like first 3 years of AEW before he won the belt or whatever it was, like
that was the story.
That whole story, and it was always centered around Hangman, and the Elite story going into the whole thing. And it finally, like, capped off beautifully, and everybody finally got, like, the closure of the story that they wanted. And it's a shame that the title reign ended up being what the title reign was and ended up being cut short by a fucking younger Hulk Hogan. But, I mean, nonetheless... Nonetheless... I feel like that moment was so fucking important for AEW, and that was like, this is what AEW is, type of thing.
Happy anniversary to the start of Brawl Out, technically.
Yeah, that promo happened a year ago today.
2 years.
2 years ago today, sorry, my bad. But yeah, so I would say Hangman winning the AEW championship was a very, very, very important part in AEW history. And again, to me personally, like, super important. For the second one, which again, this is a bias, and Dylan touched on this a little bit already, the thumbtack shoe in the steel cage match from the Young Bucks to the Lucha Bros. That
All Out 2021.
Yeah, and All Out 2021. That specific moment to me, like, that is what, because when we saw Double or Nothing 2021, that match was the Young Bucks versus Eddie and Mox for the tag belts.
That was the storyline of they stole the shoes.
Yeah, they stole their Air Diors.
Yeah.
And I thought it was silly and funny, and I was like, oh, these guys are kind of pompous divas. I kind of like that. Like, I'm kind of in it with these guys. I like them. Mind you,
like, I kept telling Lissy, I was like, you will like the Young Bucks. If you like the Hardys, you'll like the Young Bucks.
And it's been taken to a whole other level now. But I was like, okay, yeah, like, I kind of fuck with these guys. I kind of like the Young Bucks. And then once that thumbtack shoe got pulled out, that was it. Like, that was the key moment of just, like, these are my fucking guys.
These are your guys, right?
These are your guys, right? And honestly, like, again, the humor with the Young Bucks was always fun, and I enjoyed that and whatnot. But then after seeing not only that steel cage match, but that spot, they just encompassed every single thing that I loved about wrestling in that match. And again, that spot just, like, blew my fucking roof off, basically. Which was a throwback to something that they did over in PWG when they put thumbtacks on the bottom of one of their shoes. But now on a much larger stage.
Poor Candice LeRae.
So like, honestly, that was like my biggest start of, like, these are the guys that I'm gonna fucking ride or die. Like, I fucking love these guys. So that was a huge fucking moment to me. Number 3, I'll toss it in there because I'm surprised you didn't bring it up, and, I think it's very important. You might have brought it... No, actually, I don't think you brought it up at all. Jon Moxley appearing in AEW.
If we were able to pick 6 each,
yeah,
that would have been number 6.
Jon Moxley showing up in AEW and quite literally being the goddamn fucking ace of the company ever since.
I watched the first Double or Nothing. So, I also was a fan of WWE was there at the time. I wouldn't say I was a fan. It was 2019.
You were watching it.
I was watching it, unfortunately, and we saw Dean Ambrose leave because his contract was up, and everyone was just under the assumption he's just gonna go wrestle New Japan and do indie shit. He's gonna go to GCW and do death matches. He's gonna go to New Japan. He's finally gonna fucking wrestle in New Japan and shit. Cool. Double or Nothing happens. Main event happens, and then Jon Moxley shows up, and it's like, whoa, goddamn.
Yeah.
Well, goddamn. I thought, everyone was like, this is before Jericho turned into Jericho. This is when Jericho was still good and everything. So everyone was like, oh, cool, Chris Jericho. That's what fucking AEW needs, someone like that. And then Jon Moxley shows up, and it's like, well, god damn it, motherfucker. Let's go. And I have my own opinions on Moxley here and there and everything. I still think, some of his matches are still, the same at sometimes and everything. I'm really liking his IWGP title run right now and everything. Mox comes and goes for me anymore.
Mox is a 50-50.
Yeah, he comes and goes, but I will agree with you on that. Big moment for AEW.
I would say for having his namesake there.
And he's been the ace.
Yeah, literally ever since he showed up. He never got his vacation.
Honestly,
never got the vacation.
Something goes wrong in AEW, fucking break glass for Jon Moxley.
On accident, a three-time AEW World Champ.
Fuck. CM Punk being CM Punk, I'll put the belt on Mox.
Yeah, and Mox didn't get his vacation, never did.
Yeah.
Just never did.
So it's cool, yeah.
I'll also throw this one in there for number 4, which... I think I mentioned this to you the other day, and you were like, that's fucking a weird one to pick, but I just think it was cool. Bret Hart introducing the AEW World Championship.
The funny thing is, I shared a picture on Twitter. Someone posted that picture saying, the best AEW champion ever. And I was like, yeah, honestly, the best AEW champion ever.
I think that was really cool. I don't know.
No, it was cool.
I think that was a really fucking cool moment to have, Bret Hart there.
It's cool, and... Speaking of the Hart family and all of that, they're going to be doing the Owen Hart tournament again. And that's if I was able to pick 7.
Yeah.
Because, wow, a company talking about Owen Hart. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm not used to that.
Well, we haven't heard that in how many years?
Now they can talk about Owen Hart in WWE, too, because... Vince isn't there and everything, so...
And at least, mention his name again for once.
Well, they did, a whole thing... They did, a whole, thing on their YouTube of, wrestlers talking about their favorite King of the Ring moments. It's from Punk, so... Of course he's gonna say it, but, his favorite King of the Ring moments was Macho Man and Owen Hart.
Yeah.
So...
And then number 5... I don't know. Maybe you'll agree, maybe you'll disagree for this even being on the list, but I think it should be on the list. Bryan Danielson's return, or when he showed up in AEW.
Well, that's kind of falls in the All Out 2021.
You mentioned it, the All Out 2021, but specifically his return and showing up to AEW.
Oh, no, he's been a big part of, I have a feeling if Bryan Danielson was a free agent in 2019... He would have showed up in day one.
Yeah.
Would have showed up. He technically is Mr. AEW as well. Mm-hmm. He's another one that's an ace, but in other regards of if you need someone to hold the fort down, not to hold a title or anything, you just need someone to be there to be that locker room leader. Well, help. Tony Khan is literally being if I fucking die, give the book to Bryan Danielson.
Well, and also, I mention it more of, again, of a personal type of bias type thing, because, I was never a Daniel Bryan fan. We've talked about this before. I never really cared for Daniel Bryan. I didn't understand the hype about Daniel Bryan. And, when he showed up in AEW, I was like, oh, yeah, like, that's cool and whatnot. He's Bryan Danielson now.
He gets to wrestle.
And, yeah, and I didn't understand, like, why everyone was, like, freaking the fuck out. And I was like, no, I've never seen, like, Bryan Danielson wrestle or anything like that. And then watching him, like, actually wrestle and not kind of be, like, a watered-down version of himself, like, to me, Bryan Danielson has shown me the appreciation of technical wrestling and given me, like, given me the ability to actually look at it and enjoy it and learn about it and watch it. And again, I still always will prefer the flippy indie bullshit because I just love over-the-top shit. But now I've learned to have, like, that appreciation, and I like a lot of, technical wrestling matches now and whatnot.
I mean, look at the fucking matches against Kenny, Zack Sabre Jr., Will Ospreay.
No, like, any match, any match that Bryan Danielson's in, like, I'm excited for it now. Like, I'm excited to watch him wrestle. When, back in the day, if I saw a Daniel Bryan match on the card, I was probably not paying attention, or I was, like, skipping over because I didn't fucking get it. You know what I mean? So, like, the fact that he can, and obviously, like, his career's winding down as a full-time wrestler and everything. And
we better get him versus Nigel.
As he could just
Sorry, my dad.
Yeah. As he could just kind of do whatever the hell he wants to do now and just wrestle how he wants to wrestle now, and had finally the ability to go over to Japan and wrestle.
And Mexico.
Like, and he could just go and do things now. Like, that is so fucking awesome for him. And
he gets to wrestle Satnam Singh if he wants.
Yeah, and it was so important for me to finally, like, learn and understand it and get it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I remember the one time, I can't remember what the match was, but I know it was Bryan Danielson versus someone. And
we got to see him versus Hangman.
Yeah, we got to see that live.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't remember which match it was specifically. But we were at the movie theater with a couple people that we don't talk to. And
fuck all of those people.
And Dylan got up to, like, go to the bathroom or something. And it was the Bryan Danielson match, and he came back, and I told him this, like, after the fact, but when he was, like, gone or whatever.
I probably went out for a smoke.
I mean, that's what it was. I don't remember what it was. But the one person that was there, said something to, like, someone, and was just like, oh, this match is boring. You're not missing much. This match, like, sucks. This match is super, like, there's nothing fun happening in this match and whatnot. It was a really fucking good match. I wish I could remember which pay-per-view it was and what match it was. But it was a really fucking good match, and they were just like, oh, it's boring. It's a boring match, and nothing's happening. And I'm like, man, I'm kind of glad that I learned to have this appreciation now for technical wrestling, because, like...
Dylan didn't get up because it was boring. Dylan got up because he had a nicotine addiction at the time.
Yeah, or he had to pee. It was one of the two.
It was one of those.
He either really had to pee or he really needed a cigarette.
Yeah.
But... because I think it was, like, right when the match started.
Yeah.
You got up.
And I was like, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going now. I don't want to miss too much of it. So it was one of those things, but... Yeah, no, and I told him later, and I was like, dude, I was
baffled.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm fucking baffled to hear somebody say that a Bryan Danielson match is boring. But, like, again, I remember back when I was younger and I watched and I didn't fucking get it, and now I get it. But I'm, like, glad I'm not that person. I'm glad that he's in AEW now again to show people who might be like I was, or like me or whatever, that didn't get it and now finally get it and finally, like, get that recognition.
All right, let's be fair here. He's just in AEW so he can say fuck.
He does like saying fuck a lot.
Like, let's just say
who's gonna find him?
Exactly.
Yeah, who's gonna find him?
He's just there to collect the fucking fines at this point.
Yeah.
That motherfucker.
But yeah, no, but even like you were saying,
and talk about flaccidated penises.
Flaccid penises.
Yeah.
But even like you were saying, he's a huge part now, like, backstage in AEW as well. So, like,
he fired CM Punk.
He did fire CM Punk. So, like, he's really valuable to the company, and him showing up in general was, like, all in all, just, like, a really important thing for the company. So,
yeah,
happy we have him. But I guess that'd be all 5 of mine.
Yeah, I get, like, again, like, you have anything else to cover about, like, the first 5 years of AEW? Like, anything particular, special? Like,
well, again,
what does it mean to you? Or
I mean, I missed up until 2021 because I wasn't watching wrestling at all until 2020, and we were watching, because we didn't have, like, access to TBS or TNT, so we were watching WWE on, like, the network.
Yeah.
Before it even went over to Peacock. So we were, like, catching up with that, like, here and there, and watching that a little bit. I was like, yeah, you know, I've watched wrestling, I like wrestling and everything, and it's ironic enough, because I stopped watching wrestling when Edge retired. And then when we started, like, the first pay-per-view back that I started watching was the Royal Rumble, where Edge returned. So it was really interesting, like, how that kind of played out for me. But I was in and out with it, and it was just kind of one of those things watching. I was like, this is kind of boring. It's not what I remember it being. I'm not having as much fun watching it. It's kind of stupid. Like, I'm not really here for it. And then in 2021, we went to the movie theater to watch Double or Nothing 2021. And I remember Dylan being like, you're going to watch some wrestling that you're probably not overly familiar with. It's going to be different than WWE, this, that, and the other thing. So, you know, just kind of prepare yourself. I'm like, whatever. It's wrestling. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And then after watching Double or Nothing 2021, I was like, oh my fucking God, where has this been my entire fucking life?
I was like Kenny Omega to Dave Meltzer. I opened your mind.
Yeah, you broke my brain.
I broke your brain.
But I was like, holy fucking shit, quite literally, where has this been my entire fucking life? Like, this is what I want. This is what I've wanted to watch.
You got to see a fucking dinosaur wrestle. You got to see an Orange Cassidy wrestle. You got to see like...
I had to see two fucking pompous divas talk about their air Diors, and I was like, I'm in love with them.
Yeah.
I love these guys. But, which I still say to this day, that it should have been for the tag belts. It should have been an air Diors on a pole match.
Oh, God.
From seemingly how they were building this matchup. But, yeah, so I missed the tail end of 2019 and all of 2020 AEW, and the very beginning of 2021 AEW. But since then, I've just been riding the ride. You know what I mean?
Like again. I know I can be negative on AEW and stuff like that, and it's because I want them to do good. They have so much fucking potential. They've done it before. Another moment. That's actually an underrated moment. That's just a funny moment. Nick Gage showed up.
Oh my God, yeah.
He did. Nick Gage showed up.
Yeah, he wrestled Chris Jericho.
But, like, AEW, like, I want AEW to do good. I want them to do good. I don't want them to die. As much as I make jokes of, like, oh, they're one more year.
In the mud.
In the mud and shit like that. Like, I don't want them to. It's good having another wrestling promotion, something completely different and stuff. And there's stuff that I enjoy, even in 2024 AEW, and there's stuff that I don't enjoy. It's just unfortunate what weighs out the other, because at one point, I fucking enjoyed watching it every week compared to what it is now and everything. But I want them to get back to there. And I think they're going to get back to there, but
I mean,
I appreciate the first 5 years of AEW and what it has grown. Yes, it has grown into something. But like every company, like every fucking wrestling company, I mean, WWE's gone through it. They've gone through good, bad, and ugly, and they're learning. It's a learning process, and I hope the next 5 years are a lot better and creating a lot of moments. And I think there is. There's some questionable stuff and everything, like the Devil storyline and all that stuff, but I think AEW is eventually gonna pull through and get back to it and everything.
I mean, the thing is, like, the first 5 years of AEW, or at least for me, like, the first 3 years of AEW that I've watched, it really, like, to me, it's really fucking important, because I've said this 1,000,001 times over, I'll say it 1,000,000 and more times over, like,
hey.
You know, AEW brought back the absolute fucking love of wrestling that I used to have as a kid.
Absolutely.
Like, when I was in that movie theater in 2021 watching Double or Nothing, like, I quite literally felt like a fucking kid again watching wrestling. Like, I was excited. I was having fun. I was enjoying every single thing I was seeing. I was enjoying all these new fucking faces that I've never heard of or never knew or maybe did know from the past that has come back to, you know, wrestling or whatever, or in a different company now or anything. And I owe AEW that, like, eternally. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, I mean, the Young Bucks, they're my favorite tag team, and I always also give them the credit of just, like, if it, quite literally, down to the most obscure detail of it, if it wasn't for Matt Jackson, AEW would not be a thing. Like, I get it that, yes, All In happened.
If it wasn't for... If we gotta be technically... I get what you're saying. If it wasn't for Dave Meltzer answering some troll's tweet and Cody seeing that...
Well, that's what made All In happen.
Yeah.
But Matt Jackson didn't pick up the phone for Tony Khan...
If Tony Khan wasn't even at All In, too.
But, you know, like, the Young Bucks really, like, are... At least Matt is, like, really the reason that AEW did end up happening. And, you know what I mean? So, I owe them that forever. I owe AEW in its entirety that forever, because it brought back so many people to wrestling, and not only just fans, like, you know, it brought back people that we might have never seen wrestle again. It brought back CM Punk, you know what I mean? And it
opened a lot of even, like, newer people, like I never heard of Willow Nightingale beforehand.
Yeah.
Willow Nightingale,
huge now.
I never, like, I knew who the best friends were from PWG and all that, and when Trent was in WWE and all that, but you got to see the best friends. Or, like, you got to see some of these people on, like, the indies, like GCW and, like, the early Ring of Honor, before it was Tony's Ring of Honor and stuff like that.
Well, and the thing is, even for someone...
Eddie, if it wasn't for AEW, Eddie Kingston would have been retired.
And, like, even for someone like me who fell out of it and grew up only with WWE, TNA, and ECW, and then ECW into WWE, ECW, but that was it. Like, I didn't know about Ring of Honor. I didn't know about anything in the indies. I didn't know about New Japan. I didn't know about Noah. I didn't know about DDT. I didn't know about anything.
That's also a big thing that we need to cover here. Like, obviously... It's different now under Triple H's regime and all of that, where they're working, they work with other companies and they're able to mention other companies and stuff. Yeah. But AEW, from day one, they were like, fuck it, we're going to work with everyone.
Yeah, and
like, that's insane.
Like, that's the thing is, like, I didn't know that Bryan Danielson was a fucking indie star. I thought he just showed up on NXT. Like, I had no fucking idea that all of these people existed. Literally... The most I knew, so little backstory here that I know I probably told before. When I worked at Hot Topic I started there in 2016, left in 2018. That's when Bullet Club was, like, getting huge. And
that was peak.
Yeah. That's when Bullet Club was peaked. New Japan was huge. Everyone was fucking talking about it. I had not a single solitary fucking clue what the fuck this shit was. I had no idea what it was at all. To the point where the New Japan Pops released, there was a Young Bucks Hot Topic exclusive pack that all the fucking marks were after. And I had no fucking idea who the fuck these two fucking bitches were. Not a clue. And it got to the point where I got so annoyed about people calling in, which, by the way, I will just say this right now to all you collectors, you should know better when release dates happen. Alright? So shut the fuck up, you should know better, be a better collector.
They just wanted to know.
But... I had all these people fucking calling in, and they were like, hey, are the Young Bucks Pops in yet? Hey, do you guys have the Young Bucks Pops? Hey, are you getting these in? Hey. And I got to the point where someone fucking called. I was so... Oh, I thought you were telling me to shut up, but no, you're talking about the fucking...
No, I was telling him to get down with it.
But get jiggy with it.
Yeah.
Where someone called in, and I was so annoyed with this, and they were like, hey, do you guys have the Young Bucks Pops in? And I quite literally responded to this person, and I said, sir, I don't know what a Young Bucks is, but we don't fucking have it. And I hung up. And I was so fucking annoyed. So annoyed.
And you probably seen me there buying Bullet Club shirts.
Probably.
Yeah.
And, like, it got to the point where, like, I kind of had an idea, because my brother was watching New Japan, and then, like, after, like, he kind of briefly, like, explained to me, like, oh, Bullet Club, New Japan, it's this... wrestling company, it's over in Japan. There's these guys like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and AJ Styles was over there. You remember AJ Styles? And I was like, oh, okay, so it's like a wrestling thing. But that's like all I knew. I just knew it was a wrestling thing. I had no idea what these fucks looked like. The pops didn't do any justice as to what these fucking guys look like. You know, fun fact, I don't think I ever told you this. Before I even saw the Young Bucks pops, to have a general idea of what these guys looked like, in my head, with just the name Young Bucks, I envisioned them to be some sort of rednecks. Like, I envisioned them to be like a redneck camouflage tag team. I honestly probably thought they were the Briscoes.
I was gonna say, were you thinking of the fucking Briscoes?
I legitimately, and I didn't even know who the Briscoes were. Like, I probably thought they would have ended up looking like the Briscoes, and then I saw the pops come in, and I was like, who the fuck are these tassel fucks? This is the Young Bucks? And again, it was just the pops didn't actually show what they looked like. It was just a resemblance of them. But I was like, this is not what I thought these fucking guys were gonna look like in the slightest, I guess. I don't know why everyone's so hyped up about them, but whatever. And, you know, just fucking sold them. I actually think I bought the Hot Topic exclusive ones for my brother for Christmas or for his birthday or something.
That's funny.
But I had no idea who the fuck any of this shit was because I just was never exposed to it. And then when AEW showed up, and I remembered the names, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and I knew Cody Rhodes. But at the time, I think he was just Cody.
He couldn't be Rhodes yet.
Yeah, so I knew Cody from WWE. But I just remembered the names Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks from working at Hot Topic and from my brother talking about them. And I'm pretty sure my brother even said the same thing that you did. He's like, you would fucking love the Young Bucks. You would absolutely love the Young Bucks. But aside from that, like, I never saw them wrestle. I didn't know where they were from. I knew they were over in New Japan, but I don't know what the hell happened over in New Japan. I just knew a lot of people were buying these Bullet Club shirts, and a lot of people really liked these guys, and that was as far as my knowledge went. And then I ended up getting exposed to, like, more people over there, and I started, like, not understanding, but I started, like, having an appreciation for Japanese wrestling and whatnot, and all these wrestlers that were over there. And I had no idea the extent of these fucking people and the star power that came behind them. I had not a single solitary fucking clue. And again, like even people that were over in, like, GCW and whatnot, and, like, fucking Joey Janela. Like, I mean, I kind of missed over Janela.
Oh, man, that was such a fun... That was a fun couple of months.
Luckily, no offense, Joey, but luckily he kind of got subjected to dark, so a lot of his stuff was easy to find on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I was able to kind of rewatch it there, and, like, you know, then I got to see Joey Janela and go over to GCW, because that's where he's at again. Like, and then I got to see what was going on with GCW.
AEW had their growing pains in the beginning. Like I said, I watched the very first Double or Nothing, and the very first match you see on the buy-in is the Casino Battle Royal. And you see a guy, you see typical indie wrestlers. You see, like, I'm not trying to make fun of people or anything like that when I say this, but you see a guy with no legs. You see a mini guy. You see Joey Janela, Jimmy Havoc, Orange Cassidy, a guy that's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
You see all these fucking people. Hangman Adam Page randomly shows up.
Oh, I mean, that's a huge one, too. Like, I had no idea who the fuck Hangman Adam Page was. Like, I don't even know if and you might be able to tell me, because I've seen pictures from my time in Hot Topic, and I don't recall seeing one, but again, maybe you would know. I don't even know if my Hot Topic had Hangman
Very
shirts.
short time.
For a very short time.
It was mostly... Our Hot Topic mostly had the Cody shirts.
We had a lot of Cody shirts. We had a lot of ups.
Every once in a while, you would get the Kenny shirt. You would have to like be there on the right day, because that's when Kenny Omega was peak Kenny Omega.
And they were gone.
Yeah, they were gone instantly.
It was the 8-bit one.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Marty Scurll ones were there too, because that's when he was a big thing, and before he was a piece of shit.
It was the Villain Club.
Yeah,
ones,
the Villain Club shirts, the Young Bucks shirts, and the regular Bullet Club shirts.
Yeah, we always had Young Bucks and Cody stocked.
Yeah.
Those were the ones that my store specifically got the most of. They sold quick, but we had so many.
The Hangmans were there for like a very short time, though.
We probably only ever got like one or two.
Yeah,
like one or two.
It was like very short time.
But I don't even recall a Hangman shirt and again, it was probably very, very, and I probably saw it and was like, oh, it's another one of those Bullet Club things, and just kind of tossed it out there. Time. But, so I had no idea who the fuck Hangman Adam Page was, and then he showed up, and I fucking love him. Like, and the thing is, and it's no tea to people who prefer WWE over AEW. Everyone's gonna have their preferences, and that's what it is. But if I stuck just watching WWE and didn't even want to give AEW a shot because, like, it was backstabbing, like, WWE or whatever, and, like, I didn't even give two shits enough to, like, give it the fucking time of day, I would not know, and I don't know everything about wrestling, very clearly, but I would not know nearly as much as I do about wrestling. I wouldn't have found so many fucking wrestlers that I absolutely love with my entire whole heart. I would not have the excitement about wrestling back. Like, I would simply just be half-ass watching WWE and just being like, oh, okay, I like Rhea, I like Becky, I like Asuka, I like Seth, I like Kevin Owens, I like Sammy.
This podcast wouldn't even be a thing because Lissy wouldn't be a fan of the Young Bucks, and I'm always a fan of CM Punk, but that's kind of the whole point of this fucking podcast.
Yeah, like, like, I just wouldn't have enough of an opinion on wrestling. Again, I'd like the people that I'd like, but there's not really a lot in WWE that gets me excited. Even though, like, it's a lot better now than it has been in prior years, it's still just, like, I'm not a fan of the style of it, and I just don't get as excited about it as I do as AEW.
We also gotta give, another big moment of AEW's first 5 years. Technically, Cody Rhodes.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, he's not in AEW now. He's in WWE, but he wouldn't be where he's at now if it wasn't for AEW. He built himself from the ground up again.
Yeah.
From going on the indies, taking a bet on from Dave Meltzer of all people, and just fucking going with it.
I will always, as much as I'm not a fan of Cody Rhodes, I will always give Cody Rhodes, like, the tip of the hat and the flowers of the fact that, like, he did the same thing that Sasha Banks Mercedes Moné went out and did. Like, he was like, you know what? You don't see what I see in me, and I know I am something special. I know I'm a good fucking wrestler, and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna fucking prove you wrong.
Dusty Rhodes is my dad.
Yeah, and it's exactly what he fucking did. Like, he went out, he proved everybody fucking wrong. He built up a whole new promotion actively against WWE to quite literally rival them and to make a name for not only himself but all these other fucking wrestlers. And then when WWE was like, hey, Cody, can you come back? We're sorry, we miss you.
There was other factors.
Well, yeah, but he was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go because I've proven my fucking point now. And now left behind an empire that, has given so many jobs to so many other wrestlers. And not even just wrestlers, cameramen, editors, fucking the people that get coffee. Literally anyone.
He finally got to have his match with his brother, too.
Yeah.
That they wanted to have.
Yeah.
And, man, what a fucking match. If there's, like, one AEW match to check out, I say go back to all Double or Nothing, 2019, Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes, because that's wrestling. There was people fucking crying in the front row because of how emotional it was. I watched it and was like, I feel a certain type of way watching this because it hit me because I was like, damn, like, it's one of the best brother versus brother matches. I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but it was a really good fucking match, and that kind of set the tone for AEW. And then you can go have a palate cleanser and go watch the Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks too, and then be like, okay, that's what AEW is all about.
And that's the thing. Like, I think Kenny really said it the best in. I think it might have been a promo on TV, or maybe it was like it might have actually been after the cameras went off air, and he was talking to everyone. I don't really remember. But Kenny said it the best of being like, AEW is a smorgasbord of wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's got something for everyone. If you're not into the high-flying, flippy bullshit, the indie shit, like, there are those technical fucking masterpieces that are on the card. If you're there for the goofy shit, there's goofy comedy wrestling by the tens of thousands. If you're there for the flippy stuff, there's flippy stuff no matter what fucking way you look at it. You want the fucking hardcore wrestling, someone's bleeding at some point in every single fucking episode. You'll see some blood. That's for damn fucking sure. Like, it's got something for everyone. And that's why, at the very least, like, even if you end up not liking it, I always say, like, if you have TBS, if you have TNT, like, or even if you just want to spend the money on one of the pay-per-views, Like,
there's something on there.
I feel like at the very least, give it a shot. Just give it a go. Give it like one good real shot. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's what it, like, that is what it is. Everyone has their own fucking preference. But I guarantee you that you'll at least find one wrestler that you really like. You'll find a match that you really like. Or, you know, you'll at least have a good fucking laugh at something.
I can tell you right now, the 3 matches I'm hyped for tonight's Double or Nothing. And they're all fucking different.
Are we going to do predictions on it?
No, it'll be pointless because this will be out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be pointless and everything. But the 3 matches that I'm very hyped for tonight is Edge versus Malachi Black in the barbed wire steel cage, because I can always fuck with the steel cage if you go listen to prior episodes. I mean, I love some steel cage matches, and now you're adding barbed wire to it. And it's Malachi and Edge, so I still call him Edge. He's Edge to me. And then
I can't believe you're dead naming him.
I'm sorry. And then Roderick Strong versus Will Ospreay. That's gonna be something wild. I like Will Ospreay. I like Roderick Strong. If you know, I'm a fan of Hayabusa, so I'm a fan of Will Ospreay. And then this might come as a shock to everyone, but maybe not, because I've said it before that I'm a fan of ECW ridiculous bullshit. Anarchy in the Arena. Mm-hmm. Someone's going to get set on fire, and Darby Allin's probably going to go through glass. So, AEW is just, it's something wild, but let's move on to the final part of this first part of this podcast, and that is Wrestler of the Week, and I'm the host, so I get the pick.
All right, Dylan, who is your Wrestler of the Week?
My Wrestler of the Week, he was known as Flying Brian at one time, but then he was known as the Loose Cannon. And that's Brian fucking Pillman.
Okay.
Yes. Just had to get it out there like that.
Yeah.
Brian Pillman's my Wrestler of the Week.
Okay. I don't even know how to start this. How did you initially get into Brian Pillman? Like, what was your first exposure with him?
I owned a 3 DVD set of the first 15 years of Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
And Pillman's Got a Gun was on there.
Yeah.
And that was my first introduction to Brian Pillman.
Yep. So that Pillman's Got a Gun is one of those things that just consistently plays in my head rent free, and I don't know why, but it's one of my favorite wrestling moments overall.
I didn't know what I was like 7, 8. Didn't know what this character was. Like, I didn't know what the Loose Cannon was. I didn't know like who Brian Pillman was. I didn't even know why he was holding a gun to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
No context going into this.
This dude has a broken fucking ankle, sitting in his house. Steve Austin's breaking into his house, and he's fucking pulling out a gun on live TV.
Literally no context.
I'm like, I'm 8.
I'm 8.
I'm 8, and there's a guy pulling out a gun, and I'm watching fucking Cops, pretty much. Steve Austin's beating up people in his yard, and fucking Pillman's pulling out a gun, and the camera cuts, and I'm like, did this guy get shot? Like, what's going on? And then, I had like a WCW DVD, and then saw the Hollywood Blondes, and was like, I think my uncle actually told me, he's like, that's Stone Cold Steve Austin, but with hair. Yeah. And he was like, that's Brian Pillman, the guy that had the gun. And I was like, okay, and they were a tag team, the Hollywood Blondes. And then I was like, okay, and he was different. He was Flying Brian. He like, I didn't understand, I didn't know, like, the injury stuff yet or anything like that. I was fucking 8. But, then I saw what would be my favorite Brian Pillman match, if you're going to ask what my favorite Brian Pillman match would be.
That was literally my next question.
Him versus Jushin Thunder Liger. Anytime they face each other, but most importantly, the first one, from the first, not the first one, but the match that they had on the first Nitro. Him versus Liger was a really good fucking match. And then podcasts, videos, all that, growing older, learning what Flying Brian was, the Dark Side of the Ring, obviously too, and just I've always loved it. Him showing up in ECW, threatening to piss in the ring, is also a good one. Him wrestling the pencil, him cooking, is very fun. My favorite Brian Pillman moment, though, is...
That was my third question.
Okay, so I'm just answering your questions here. My favorite Brian Pillman moment is him working WCW into releasing him of his contract and making Eric Bischoff think that this is all like a fucking a work shoot, whatever. He's gonna be back and all that, but nope. He shows up in ECW, threatens the piss in the ring, wrestles a pencil, cooks, and then he shows up in WWE. But I mean, that his WWE run is so underrated for a lot of things because he didn't really do much because he shattered his fucking ankle. He had to change up his wrestling style because he literally had like one ankle at that fucking point. But he joined the Hart Foundation by proxy because he's fucking friends with the Hart Foundation, was trained and all that. That was a great run. He finally got to have like kind of a match with Stone Cold Steve Austin, his former tag team partner. The term Pillmanizing a body part comes from Stone Cold fucking literally Pillmanizing his leg. And the untimely death of him, unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure I already know the answer, but loose cannon or flying Brian?
The loose cannon.
Yeah.
Because a little fun fact, I didn't get a chance to do it because we've gone into the backyard wrestling drama and all that. But if we were doing backyard wrestling now at this time, I actually had a gimmick lined up for the storyline that we were planning on doing, where I was going to get kicked out of this group that I created and all that, and it was going to send me into like this craziness. I was going to be known as the anarchist Danny Vallow, and it was going to be based off the loose cannon.
Yeah.
That was going to be like the whole thing about it. Maybe one day we can go into like what was supposed to happen and everything like that, because it's a pretty cool thing that was supposed to happen and everything. But
might need Bryce for that.
Might need Bryce, because it would be a fucking shoot, brother. But yeah, so Pillman's always been like a big like influence, and it always warmed my heart to see Brian Pillman Jr., now Lexus King, wrestle and get the spotlight and talk about his dad and all of that. And I'm glad what he's doing now, and he's in NXT killing it and everything. But Brian
I hate his beard. I hate his fucking beard.
Brian Pillman, reason why I actually picked him is because it was his birthday this past week.
Yeah.
So like it just was like, oh man, like, well, I'm thinking of you type of thing. Like I'm thinking of you, you know? Like I wish I was born much earlier, because I would have enjoyed I enjoyed Flying Brian, but I would have enjoyed Brian Pillman and everything. And I wish he was still here with us, because I think he would have been like, he probably wouldn't have been wrestling because of the ankle injury and stuff, but he would have been a great mind to the business. Like, especially
with Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah, it's such a creative genius. Can cut a fucking hell of a promo, especially with that raspy voice that he has because of those throat surgeries he had and everything. And he was something very fucking special that he got taken away from us, unfortunately. It's an unfortunate thing, and fuck Vince McMahon for having to interview his fucking wife.
Yeah, that was fucking bullshit.
The day after he died and everything, and
that was legitimately fucking bullshit. Like,
it's an unfortunate thing, but
what else would you like to say about him? Because you literally just ran through my fucking questions.
You have any more questions?
I have no idea now. You just took like the first three.
I did.
And fucking went with them. I don't remember what else I asked you. Like, you answered the favorite match, you answered favorite moment, you answered like which gimmick you preferred of his, how you got into him. I don't know, if you could ask one piece of advice from Brian Pillman, what would it be?
Oh man. It probably wouldn't be advice. I'd probably just sit and listen and pick his brain.
Yeah.
Honestly, because he was such a creative genius. How did you work Eric Bischoff into a shoot?
Yeah, right. I mean, like,
what made you like come up with the loose cannon?
Yeah.
Type of thing. Like, what were you thinking? Type of thing.
It was like, I wasn't, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, so aside from Brian Pillman Jr., if Brian Pillman was still alive today, and let's say he took on a manager role or something along those lines, who would you like to see him paired with?
Moxley.
Oh God, yeah.
Moxley.
Oh,
It'd
God,
be something insane.
Like if he took like William Regal's spot or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with Blackpool Combat
Or
Club.
even fucking something to do with like one of like the younger Hearts, even because he was in that family.
Yeah.
Or like not a manager role, but a match or even a promo battle. Punk and Pillman.
Pillman and MJF.
Pillman and MJF would be cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He, again, just a special fucking talent. That's all I can really keep saying. Like, what a special fucking talent.
He's one of those people that was quite literally like 1 in a million of getting.
Yeah.
And
one of a kind.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like, dead ass, one of a kind fucking person, and it's just kind of a shame. Like, you know, I mean, again, I'm sure Brian Pillman Jr. is going to do great things, and of course, like, he's, you know, made it very clear that he wants to be, like, his own person. He doesn't want to just be known.
But I wish... this is just me. He, like, I know he said other things and whatnot and everything, and it's understandable. I wish he kind of got, like, the advice now from his dad. You know what I mean? Because, oh, man.
He'd be unstoppable.
He'd be something special. I mean, he is something special, too, but he would be, like, really something fucking special. Like, he's already the second coming of him, but, like, imagine if he had, like, the word of mouth in his ear and all that.
It's insane to me how much he looks like him.
Yeah.
Like, it is uncanny. Like, quite literally uncanny.
What are some of your, like, what's your opinion on Brian Pillman? Like, some favorite things and whatnot. Talk about Brian Pillman.
Oh, I mean, my favorite Brian Pillman moment, we already talked about this the other day, was him wrestling the pencil.
Yeah.
Hands down. And again, like I said, like, a couple minutes ago, like, Pillman's Got a Gun just plays rent fucking free in my head for some reason. I really don't know why. But, like...
It's such a random fucking thing.
That moment is just ingrained in my brain of just, like... Yeah, that's a vibe. You know what I mean? Like, I fucking love that.
Every time I was the booker for backyard wrestling shows and someone would be like, Dylan, I respect you. What played in my head was, I respect you, Booker, man!
But no, I liked Brian Pillman. I also preferred Loose Cannon.
You like the Loose Cannon
over Flying Brian.
It's just
because he was fucking insane.
It's fucking crazy.
Fucking insane. Like, the fact he just was able to get away with so much fucking shit.
Bro would do whatever.
Yeah, literally whatever. Like, who the fuck was it that was on commentary that, like, he got to, like, tell him to, like, fuck off or whatever?
Oh,
there was a few. Who the fuck was that?
There was a few. He didn't tell him to fuck off. Bobby Heenan was on commentary, and he, like, grabbed, like, his neck, and Bobby Heenan had neck issues. And that's what it was. And, like, Heenan was like, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
On commentary. Like, but Pillman got away with it. He just...
he quite literally just got away with fucking anything he did. It was actually insane.
Like I said, he showed up in ECW and fucking was gonna whip it out and piss in the ring.
Yeah.
Like...
I just love how chaotic he was, you know what I mean?
He pulled a gun out on USA Network. And, like, yeah, they were pissed about it, but, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he was still, you know...
Pulled a gun out! The fuck? Just a fucking special fucking talent.
No, seriously. Again, one of a fucking kind. Like, didn't he, like, end up backstage in WWE somehow, and he wasn't signed... But he just ended up and he, like, ran up to Vince McMahon and he was like, get a picture with me, or whatever. And Vince was like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, fucking ridiculous.
Brian Pillman was, like, one of, like, the earliest wrestlers to, like, fuck with the IWC, technically. Like, he was way ahead of his time, let's put it that way. He worked the Dirt Sheet Riders, he worked the Smarks, all of that. Like, like I said, like I keep saying, Brian Pillman was something fucking special.
He broke everyone's brain.
Yeah.
Like, just literally, he was the original Kenny Omega to Dave Meltzer. He broke everyone's brain.
Yeah, he was something fucking special.
I would love to go back in time and just, like, weasel my way into Dave Meltzer's brain when fucking Brian Pillman was, like, on the run. Like, just as the loose cannon, just fucking with everyone. I want to know what Dave Meltzer was thinking.
I would love to get those issues
Yeah.
Of like of fucking PW or fucking Wrestle Observer and just fucking like what was fucking Dave like writing when Pillman was just going batshit crazy? Like what was he like reporting? Because I need to know. I'm gonna find those fucking things one day and spend amounts of money on it for ridiculous. I don't know.
But the guy that is such a complete fucking like offshoot, but the guy that was at the AT&T store on Monday when I was talking to him, he was a wrestling fan and whatnot, and that was one of the things he was talking about was like having old like PWI magazines and Wrestling Observer magazines or whatever, and like from when he was younger and still like trying to find them online just to like keep like finding the years in between that he missed and whatnot. And we're like, hey, can you go through and tell me what the fuck Meltzer was writing about when Brian Pillman was happening?
Like, you can find the reports online, but I would like to find the fucking hard copy of the fucking magazine, bro. I would love to. I would kill for it. As much as I bitch about Dave Meltzer, fuck, that's like gold right there.
I'm sure eBay's got them.
Yeah, and they're probably a pretty penny.
I don't know. You can look and see what the fuck they're going for, because I feel like they can't go for that much. You know what I mean? Like it's a magazine. It can only hold so much value for so long.
It's wrestling. We're talking about wrestling. Zerber. Let's just type in like 1997 magazine.
Let's see. Don't trust Amazon. Amazon prices are ridiculous.
Yeah, shopping. $20. This is from the Torch. The Wrestling Observer Yearbook, $32.
That's not bad.
No, there's one with Hogan on it from Akari, $25. The Pro Wrestling Illustrated PWI 97, $50. That's still actually not bad. Oh yeah, so you can find them for a reasonable fucking price. Yeah. I'll give it that. Okay. There is some good shit on here. All right. Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, anyway, you got any more closing notes out about Brian Pillman?
I miss you.
Yeah.
I miss you. I think wrestling would be way better off if you were still here.
Yeah.
Because I fucking miss you. You're fucking something special, and I love you, man.
Yeah. I agree.
And I hope wherever anyone goes when they die, whatever one believes, I hope we cross paths when I die.
Yeah, honestly.
Because I would love to hear stories. Especially from you.
Yeah.
And I hope wherever people go, I hope you and Owen are having a good time.
Yeah. I hope they're hanging out.
I hope you and Owen are having a good time. But with that being said, this was part 1 of this episode. Lyssie, do the outro part.
All right, well... Thank you guys so much for listening, watching, however you really kind of, intake our podcast. If you're interested in following us on social media, you could follow us on Instagram at Talkin Wrasslin Pod. That is TALKIN_WRASSLIN_POD. If you're interested in following me and on all of my websites, internet, social media platforms, whatever you may call them, you could find me on Instagram and Twitter at the same handle, which is Lungtar. That is LUNG_TAR. Twitter, I post a lot about wrestling, mostly, young Bucksy, elite type of stuff. But I post a lot about wrestling on my Twitter and Instagram. I don't post as much like legitimate posts, but I do post to my story a lot. Again, a lot of it's wrestling related, some of it's tattoo related, art related type of stuff. If you enjoy listening to my voice and want to see my face along with my voice, or silly little videos and skits, you could follow me on my TikTok, which is Lungbucks. That is LUNG_BUCKS. It is a play on the Young Bucks. As of this moment that we are recording, I currently have more followers than the Young Bucks on TikTok, which is fucking insane to me. They're up into the thousands now. They have like 1,100 something or whatever. I have 4,000 followers. So I have about 4 times the amount of the followers as the Young Bucks at the current moment. I know it's not going to last forever. I know it's going to pick up from there. But I just think that that's kind of funny right now. Maybe the Young Bucks will follow me on TikTok. Please follow me on TikTok, Young Bucks. I love you. But yeah, Dylan, where could these people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Danny_line Valo_line DANI_line Valo VALO_line. Same thing with Twitter. I post here and there on Instagram. Usually quiet on Instagram. Twitter, I usually just retweet a bunch of bullshit and make fun of Dave Meltzer and do whatever. And yeah, it's pretty calm on Twitter as of late.
Yeah, for the most part.
But also like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, share this video out to...
We would appreciate it.
Your friends, your family, your loved ones, your uncles who remember the territory days and think that all wrestling now is bullshit and will probably hate our podcast, but he once made fun of you at Thanksgiving and you really haven't forgotten about it, so you want to just, subject him to our ramble. Definitely share that out to that person. Your neighbors and your siblings that are too young to be owning an iPad but do for whatever reason anyway.
As long as you have games on there.
As long as they got games on the iPad. I don't think I'm going to go get another vape because this emergency one is actually kind of holding me out for a good bit.
Get food.
Did you really want to go get food?
Yeah.
God damn it, I didn't want to leave the house. Fuck me, man.
Well, we're leaving.
Oh,
Probably after the Phillies game.
I guess we have to go anyway and go places that I don't want to go. So,
but stay tuned for part 2 of this episode. There will be a part 2, and it will be us reviewing King and Queen of the Ring and Double or Nothing.
Yep.
And that'll be out on Thursday as you're hearing this on Tuesday.
Yep. And I think that's pretty much it. So, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Tune in on Thursday for the part 2 of this. And, yeah, that's all I got to say.
Bye!
Goodbye.